Caroline asks, hello Caroline, she asks, bloody hell, Harry. Are you full vegan now? What's your favourite recipe / food that you've tried? I am, we are both. We have been for months now. I know I don't want to be the pushy vegan, the stereotypical pushy vegan, but we are. We enjoy saving the world. Favourite recipe / food, I love seitan. There's a place in Hackney, which is just down the road from us in London, called Temple of Seitan, and they do incredible fried chicken, basically, and it's wonderful. One thing, well, not one thing that I've missed, but I loved wings. I loved, a lot. I love them a lot. And that's something I haven't really missed, but it's something that, having eaten at Temple of Seitan, and to have had their buffalo wings, I just realised how much I love them, and it's great to be able to eat them without harming anybody or thing, basically. Sarah asks, Sarah Crone, who has actually had to add one N in her name. Funny story, whenever I used to Twitch stream games, Sarah would forget her password every fucking time, and she'd have to make a new account, and she'd just add an N to it. So she's only had to do that once on Twitter by the looks of things. Who are your favourite 2000s emo bands? Bloody hell, Harry. Where do I start? I was a big old emo, honestly. Emo and screamo, I was, growing up. I mean, I don't really know where the line is, honestly. Of course, Panic at the Disco, Fall Out Boy. Not so much My Chemical Romance, honestly. And that's just because, I don't know, I was into like the heavier stuff, I think. And so, of course Black Parade was a fantastic song, but other than that, I just didn't really listen to them. I was more like Papa Roach, System of a Down, Slipknot, like Lamb of God, Meshuggah, like bands that nobody else enjoyed at those times. I kind of felt like they needed somebody to like their music, right? No, I'm only kidding. Of course they had an incredible amount of people listening to them. That's just what I enjoyed. But growing up, honestly, my favourite bands were like Linkin Park and Fight Star, Kill Switch Engage. The bands that like mixed the madness and the anger with the melody, and having like rah 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 rah, and then like a beautiful sung chorus. That's what I loved. So yeah, all of those. I don't know, I've forgotten what I said. Ardia? I'm unsure, but this is a good question. I'm glad you've asked this. She said, bloody hell, Harry, upside down question mark. What's stopping you from becoming the next vlogging sensation? I've done that because the question mark, like at the end of a question you increase in pitch. You get higher. I feel like from the upside down question mark I should decrease in pitch. What's stopping you from becoming the next vlogging sensation? Just food for thought there, think, people, open your eyes. This is something I get asked a lot. I actually did like over 150 vlogs on a different channel. Let me actually find out exactly how many I've done. Just Google search Lewis Watson vlogs. The top one is Lewis Watson vlogs for when you need to smile. That's nice. Oh God. It's actually not as obvious as I thought. Maybe this is why people ask me. Oh, not 150, 110. So I actually did 110 vlogs. Most of them were daily on a different channel. It's called Lewis Watson Vlogs. And nobody seemed to care. So that's why I don't do them. Speaking of tattoos that are inspired by me. Oh, that's a dicky sentence to say. I wish I didn't say that. Anyway, Josh asks, favourite gig you've played in recent times? Bloody hell, Harry. I can't believe I have to type this every time I want to ask you a question. Just invented words there. Recent times, I did a gig in New York the day after my birthday, which I spent alone. And it was sold out, and it just felt so great. I loved it. I felt like I was floating. It had everything. Somebody fainted, which made me feel awful. but it also gave me a break from singing, which was nice. Thank you, person. But I just sung and sung and sung, and everybody sung back at me, and people were enjoying themselves, and I feel like it was potentially 21 plus, so they had a buzz on, you know, and it just felt super cool, and it felt like a band show without it being a band show. You know, I can't wait to take a band to the States. I feel like I've kind of exhausted going to the States by myself as a solo act. You know, I feel like people are just going to stop coming to see me if that keeps happening. But it's very expensive to take a band over to the United States. But anyway, there was this energy there that night that just felt like I had the band behind me. It's because everybody in the crowd was my band. You know, people were singing back to me and laughing at my jokes, and it was wonderful. It was honestly one of my favourite gigs ever, but certainly one of my favourite gigs of recent times. Another cool one was the show in Melbourne in Australia last year. That was a show that felt super cool. We actually did 2 nights in Melbourne, well, a day show and a night show in Melbourne, because we sold the tickets so quickly, and that was a super cool gig because people were dancing, and it just felt, I don't know, I felt really welcome. And you know, to be on the other side of the world and have people listen to your music enough to pay, you know, $10 to come to a show and then enjoy the show was a wonderful feeling. One that's actually slightly closer to home was the show that I did on the day that the album came out, Midnight came out, in March last year in Bristol. We played at Thekla, which is a boat, if you don't know, if you're not from Bristol. And that show again just felt super, I don't know, people would dance. People don't dance at my gigs. And the album had been out for like 20 hours and people knew every word. It was nuts. It was nuts. So I really enjoyed that one as well. Thank you, Josh. Desi asks, bloody hell, Harry. Are you ever considering coming to the Netherlands to play some tunes? Would defo come 11 out of 10? Well, Desi, last year I actually came to the Netherlands like 4 times. 5 times? I don't know. I love playing in the Netherlands. I feel like people really appreciate music over there, and I always get wonderful crowds. So I'm sure that when the next tour rolls around, I'll be in the Netherlands, and I hope to see you there, wherever you're from, whether it's Groningen or Rotterdam or Utrecht or wherever it is. I really hope to see you there. Clem asks, it was Clem's birthday yesterday, so wish Clem a happy birthday in the comments below. She asks, are you pregnant? And she said, I am protecting my tweets just for this. You're welcome. I'm not pregnant. Well, actually, I don't. How do I know if I'm pregnant? Oh, this is a throwback. Ninja Lynn, she asks, this is a girl who came to my first show in Amsterdam, and then actually she came to our recent show in Belgium, I think, as well. But I haven't seen you for a while. Hello, thanks so much for sticking around. I really appreciate that. She asks, could you talk about what inspired you to go vegan? I went vegan earlier this year too, so I'd love to hear about your experience. Kiss. Bloody hell, Harry. Honestly, for me, it was the fact that, and again, I don't want to annoy people by doing this. Eat what you want, you know. I don't care what you eat, and in the same respect, you shouldn't care what I eat. This is a choice that I've made, and something that I'm actually quite proud of, honestly. But yeah, just back off, okay? For me, it was the fact that we just don't need to, you know, we've advanced so much as a race and as a civilization that there's no need to murder things for food anymore. There are things that we can do now, you know, thanks to the advances in science and our knowledge, that maybe back in the day, in the olden times, you know, we used to require animal fat or whatever it may be. We just don't need that anymore, and that's something that I think that I'm proud to be part of the people that are willing to not so much challenge themselves. It's easy, you know. Maybe the first week and a half was difficult because I was adjusting, but to break the habit that everybody seems to have, that, you know, that we need to eat meat and we need to eat dairy, and it's just, with the advances that we're making as a race, that's just not the case anymore. You know, it's very easy to sustain a life without harming things. There's an account on Instagram that I follow which is called Wicked Kitchen or Wicked Healthy, and they always say don't kill shit for flavor, and it's so true. You know, nowadays we don't need to do that, and so that's something that I'm proud to kind of not do that. I don't know, there are a million reasons, and maybe I can't put my finger on one, but I am very happy that I am vegan, and it's something that is much easier than people think, I think. Laura asks, hello Laura, another person with tattoos of my songs or lyrics. I know she has a sink or swim one on her arm. She also has a midnight one and a morning one on each leg, which is amazing. She said, bloody hell Harry, is sink or swim still on the set list? Finally bringing my little sister to see you live, and it's our favourite. Also kind of hoping to hear it at Barn on the Farm. Yes, that song will stay on the set list for forever. It's one of my favourite songs. It's also one of the songs that whenever I say the song Sink or Swim, it's one of the few songs that makes the crowd go, yay! So yes. Kelly Fisher asked who I met at Boardmasters, and she actually studies at a university very close to where I live. I probably shouldn't know all of this information, but I do. She asks, bloody hell Harry, Marmite - love it or hate it. Also, next album / EP anytime soon? I love Marmite, always have done. I've never understood how anybody could dislike Marmite. However, I actually prefer Vegemite. It's incredible and much better, in my opinion. I actually released an EP like a month ago, so I don't know about that. I will let you know that I am working hard at writing the next album, and I'm sure it'll be something that I am very proud of, but I don't know when that will happen. I have no idea. I'm ever so sorry, but thank you for your question, Kelly. This is strange. Chelsea here, Chelsea Grover, has asked, will there ever be another Summer Jams? Please. This is something that I've spent all of today rehearsing. This is pretty obscene that this has happened. I thought people had forgotten about that. Basically, back in 2013, I did a thing called Summer Jams 13, where I compiled some of my favourite songs and some of my songs into this kind of medley. Think of it as a Grease medley of songs that I was listening to. And people kind of enjoyed it, and it's something that I vowed to do every year, and it hasn't worked at all because we're 5 years down the line and I haven't done another one. But it's something that I've wanted to do every year, it just hasn't worked. You know, whether it be in 2014 I was releasing an album, 2015 I was recording an album, in 2016 I was kind of in a weird place, honestly. Last year, 2017, I was in Australia when I would have done it, so there's always been something going on, and I thought that I'd really want to do one for this year. I don't know. If this video gets over 500 likes, I'll do Summer Jams 18. I promise. And that just about does it for the drunk Q&A. It's Tuesday night, it's 24 minutes past 10, and I'm very wobbly right now. If this is something that you've enjoyed, please let me know by leaving a like below. If it's something that you didn't enjoy, don't hesitate to give me a dislike and comment and tell me what you didn't like about it and what I should do instead. Let me know what you think about me stepping away from maybe the covers all the time and adding, you know, a little sprinkle, drip feeding a little bit of difference and a little bit of variety into the YouTube uploads. Please do let me know. And if you'd like to be notified whenever I upload, And if you'd like to be notified whenever I upload a video, please don't hesitate to click subscribe. The button's right here. Here is last week's upload, and I will see you on Friday. Thank you so much for watching. I love you lots, like jelly tots, but not as much as vodka shots.